Hi friends, my name is Rudolph George. Welcome to the Wale Garam Charche episode 2 of our podcast. Our podcast is a set of series that provides insight, updates directly from the movers and shakers of RATA. Today, our guest is Akash Varma. Akash is the managing director of Ishwar Climate Solutions Private Limited, previously known as Ishwar Trading. It is a 37-year-old company that focuses on the distribution of components in the commercial and industrial refrigeration and air conditioning solution space. They are one of the premium wholesalers of Danfoss Climate Solutions in our country. He joined his father in 2002 as a second generation entrepreneur after completing his chartered accountancy. He's also pursued his postgraduate program in family-run businesses at ISB Hyderabad. He is the current National Joint Secretary at RATA and also is the President of RATA Mumbai. He also heads the National Chair at the Traders and the Programs Forum for RATA. Akash believes that there is no substitute for good work that is being done consistently to achieve success in our industry in the next coming 20 years. As we all know, Akash does wear a lot of hats, whether it is in his academics, in his career, and even in our association. Akash, we are so happy to have you here on the second episode of our podcast. Welcome, Akash.
Thanks, Rudolph. I think you did more than justice to my introduction. I'm extremely humble in the way I've been in this industry, at least. Not the place where I was absolutely ready to jump into and just get on to auto mode. And that's the reason you actually believe that you have to work hard on a daily basis. That's the only way you'll adjust and you'll excel.
A lot of our viewers know Akash. He's a very common face in our industry, in our association. But a lot of our viewers would like to know about Akash and especially how he became a member of RATA and his journey from membership to the leadership position in RATA. This is something that we only probably hear and see in articles. But today, let's hear it from the man himself on his journey from being a member to a leadership role in RATA. How was his experience?
So, Rudolph, firstly, probably my definition of leadership is that you'll have to. If it's leadership is a journey, which means that each one of us have to take on that journey in our own way, and we have to reach there at our own pace.
True.
Probably when you talk about member, it's ironic to say that I've not been a member at RATA per se, as in I didn't join RATA as a member.
Okay.
Just the way as I came in as second generation.
True.
In the industry or in Ishwar, similarly, I came in as second generation into RATA.
Oh.
So what did my father do? My father was actively involved in RATA. He was the president of RATA. And that's how I got introduced, as simply as this is the refrigeration and air conditioning industry and this is the refrigeration and air conditioning trades association. And that's the way I got in. I spent the first, you can say from 2002, as you introduced, I joined my father. So in 2002 itself, I started going with him to see some of these committee meetings that he was holding. It was till about 2008, I did that with him. Probably that's the time till when he was also active in this industry and in business. What was I doing at that time? I was going and seeing what the seniors were doing. So, of course, they had their different ways. They had a different bond. And I was, for those 6 years, just my father's son who was tagging along for those meetings at that time. But 2010 was probably the time when I came in and thought, I'm on my own and I have to now start building myself, my own career, my own path in this industry. 2010 was the time when, the committee also started changing at RATA. It's again ironic, from 2015 till 2022, that's a long 8 years, I was treasurer at RATA.
we present to you our wide range of chilled water systems, where traditional technology meets modern innovation. Chilled water systems have been a cornerstone of HVAC systems for decades, but our products are designed to meet the demands of today's world.
So, and possibly that came quite naturally because doing chartered accountancy, isko kya de? So let him take care of the money, let him take care of the accounts. At that time, the treasurer's role in RATA was basically to try and understand that what could be the sources of income to run the association.
True.
Along with that, of course, to cover the expenses that were there.
Plan, yeah.
And with a mind that you had to ultimately grow RATA to a national level. So if RATA has to grow to a national level, you have to look at how you can increase those same numbers. You can consistently look at, of course, specifically because this is a Section 8 company, so it's a not-for-profit company.
Absolutely.
So there's an AGM. There's also the finalization of the accounts, their compliances as directors. So all these things had to be taken care of. So that's the journey when, those 8 years was specifically just handling the treasury at RATA. By then, 2019 is the time when Ajit became president.
19, yeah.
Yeah. And Ajit had a different focus then because this is also another story. He had to...
Yeah, but before you go to Ajit's story, it is such a given that, when you're a second generation entrepreneur, everything comes easy. It's nothing but far from the truth, because even my experience as a second generation entrepreneur has been different. When your father does so much, when he has a good network, when he's established his own resources, his contacts, his own business atmosphere, his own ecosystem of business, and people think that, okay, yeah, of course, there is some bit of convenience that comes with it, but he also has to have his own set of network, his own experiences. So, though a lot of things are culturally probably trickle down probably in the hierarchy, but he comes with his own experiences. He has to establish his own network, and that takes time. No matter how you look at it, it is not at the flick of a switch. It takes your own mistakes, it takes on your own successes, and these accomplishments together come in. As you all heard, that Akash has probably been in the business from 2002, and it has taken him a while to understand the nitty-gritties, even at the association level. There is a bit of culture and a bit of ideas that are exchanged at a generation level, which are probably different when we take over, when we see things in the association. So every time there comes a new leadership, there comes new energy, there comes fresh ideas कि हमारे AC वाले जो association है इसमें हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, and what are even the challenges for that matter. The challenges that we faced in 10 years back, 15 years back are not the challenges that we all have lofty good ideas on what the association has to do and क्या करना चाहिए, what needs to get done. But everything needs a lot of resources. Money, time, effort. Everybody has to clock in a certain amount of hours to give their bit to the association. So here we have a guest today in front of us who has been there, who has seen it and done it, and also has seen that particular change from the previous leadership जो आज हमारे जो association को lead करे, ये सब members का जो story है, he knows, he carries a bit of this story within himself. And now he's going to speak about a very interesting leadership in 2019, Akash.
Yeah, so of course, when Ajit was there in 2019 as president, the idea was that how do we grow national? Because, if you want to grow national, that's the only way you can grow the community. And frankly, what does RATA do? RATA represents the MSMEs of our industry to the government.
Correct.
And the government wants numbers. Absolutely. So I'll give you a very interesting story. We had gone for a program where Shri Piyush Goyal ji at that time was the acting finance minister. And he was basically talking to all the industry and association heads about the GST that had just got introduced at that time. So when we were there in that room, of course, we brought up our industry's woes of, Goyal ji, 28%, that's a sin tax, for our industry. 18%, is what we would find reasonable for our industry, and that is where you will get growth. Because frankly, the air conditioning industry is something which is a necessity than a luxury. So, of course, he heard us, and we've been saying this for the last 5 years now. But listen to this. There's another industry president over there. It's the chemist industry, and he had his own reason of, debating about the way the GST was being charged on some of the medicines when they are returned back to the company. So at that time, he wanted that the e-way bill should not be there because it's very difficult to make e-way bills for every expired medicine that goes back. Now, probably Golji was right because he said that, listen, if I allow you to send part of your goods without an e-way bill, it means that tomorrow it'll be our onus to prove every time whether your goods are actual or are they the ones which are expired. So I don't think I can do that. And just like every industry, even your industry will need to create an e-way bill, and that's how it'll be. Now, he says, okay, let's go to the next question. At that time, the president of the chemist industry stands up and he says, Golji, give me 30 seconds. I just want you to know that we are 8.5 lakh chemists in India with probably 5 people working at each chemist, which is about 40 lakhs, which probably has about 3 voting members in each house, which is about 1.2 crores. Now you let me know if you want to listen to us or not. Yeah. When he heard that number, he said, guys, 1 minute hold. Tell me, what is your problem again?
Yeah.
That's where we understood.
Yeah.
We can't be a 250 and 300 company membership. We have to be across the country, and we have to be large, and we have to be unified. And that one voice is something that would finally reach the government. So that's what Ajit was doing at that time. He was working on this part. COVID came, and it was an adversity for people. But here, this guy converts the adversity into an opportunity. We start going ahead with online meetings, Zoom, Google Meet, and here we are reaching out to more people than we would have ever reached out to before. And that's the way the association actually grew at that time, till about 22, when I took over as the president of Mumbai.
A lot of people think that representation is important. Yes, representation is important at various levels, whether it's government, whether it's amongst other associations. But here we hear a story that a man with a vision, he knew that there is strength in numbers, there is proper representation when you are united, when you stand united. And that has always been the goal of our association. We've always had numbers to back us up. And now it is about gathering the members together under one roof so that we all have probably the vision that is there to stand together, that comes in through. And leadership does take vision. Without, every leader brings in his own vision. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of members that follow that particular leader, and there is some fruit that comes up. Today, we as RATA Mumbai, or even in the country, the number of members that are part of RATA. And RATA does not only represent just MSME. MSMEs form a big part of RATA, but we are also connected with other associations, like the Manufacturers Association, that various trade bodies that are around RATA. So not just at a government level, even with other associations, there is so much of interaction, there's so much of possibilities that only a person with vision can understand. It is not something very simple let's just hear grievances, let's just do, let's just check on unfair practices. Yes, grievances are to be heard, not from individuals, from collective individuals. Similarly, even the government, when they hear grievances, they have grievances all along, right? But it is not a dozen or 100 people. It will be when the voice is coming from 5,000, from 50,000, from 5 lakh people, you will have priority. It is important. And that is what our leadership has been doing for a while now. And that is why whenever there's an outreach for members to come together and see this association in action, that is why this podcast, this kind of platforms are being used, so that we all know what challenges are being faced, even at the committee level. Right, Akash? So yeah, so like I said, there has been struggles, there has been highlights, and I'm also sure, Akash, in the last 10, 15 years, there has been some key moments, that has come after a struggle. Like you have gone through probably a tough time, and then you've come out successfully with some key moment. I don't know specifically which, but I'm sure some particular incident will be there, which will come in your mind as that, oh, you know what, this I thought we would not get through this, but you come through. Is there any particular instance?
Of course, there are a lot in the industry itself in my business, but I don't want to get into that. I think I'll just limit it to what I experienced at RATA. And where I felt, there were some eureka moments and really made me feel that this was worth it. So obviously before that, I'd like to mention that while I was spending time with the seniors at RATA, the idea was that maybe I was not doing all the major stuff. I was not president. But just by being there and being around seniors, learning from them, learning how they do it, seeing how calmly they do it, seeing how they can put off things, which are becoming too serious by a laugh in between. These things happen when you actually bond together and you are sitting in one room. And that is what I learned at that time from my seniors. So there was some, there's Jasbir ji, late Jasbir ji was there. Then Gosavi ji, Gurnani ji, my dad, late Tejinder Singh ji. And then post that, people like Pankaj Choraria and Jasprit ji. Then we had Deepak Dalmia, we had Amod, RN, we had Ajit, Paras ji, Mihir. Remember, these are different generation guys.
Absolutely.
And all come with some special things for you to just soak in. So now tell me, is it worth it having free of cost this kind of learning, when you are just going there, trying to make friends, and in the meantime, you don't know what's in store for you. Yeah. So it started that way. When I mentioned that in 2022, I was asked to become president of RATA Mumbai. That was the moment when I had a personal adversity in my family. And I requested that, is it okay if I don't take it and I can, postpone it for another term? But I was told, no, for the sake of RATA, this is absolutely necessary. Please hold on. How would I do that if I had to put my focus at two places? I couldn't. So while I chose family, here there's a team, a committee that has been there, newly appointed, youngsters who are there in that room, now making and repeating history. The things that I went and made friends and learned, there were different reasons they were there in that room, but they were all bonding. And someone over there took the challenge of taking up the leadership while I was not there. So when I came back in 6 months, I saw Harshal. He had taken up the leadership over there and said, listen, I'm going to be there in this space till you come and fill it up. And when I came there and I saw this entire team, and they were absolutely ready to, at your beck and call. I mean, this was the bonding that had started coming up over there. And that's when I thought it was all worth it, man. This is, cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Correct.
Who doesn't want to be a leader of this kind of a team? A time when Mumbai was saying, who can be that one leader, to now having an excellent bench strength over here sitting to become presidents.
Correct.
That is what I think is the eureka moment for me in this industry at RATA.
Being there, I think I exactly know what you mean, Akash. It's being a chair in Mumbai, and this is where it all happens. I'm not saying no disrespect to other regions. Mumbai has a lot going for it, okay? And it is not in any context easy to be the president of RATA Mumbai. Because you have traders, you have manufacturers, you have SSDs, you have all types and all sorts. And most of these MNCs have their corporate offices here, their addresses here. So this is a market that really makes sure that you have your A game. And the period which, Akash, you've been mentioning, I think this period has been not passed for the last 3 years. In the last 2 to 3 years, this kind of change has been wholesome to see. And it is that collaborative mindset. It is that mindset that together we should move ahead. A lot of people on our trade find it very cumbersome or find it very, let's use the word uncomfortable to rub shoulders with other members from the same firm. They think that it's a competitive, and this atmosphere change from it being competitive to actually learning something, to have that, कि यार मैं कुछ ना कुछ सीख लूंगा. There is some element of mentorship that I can learn from, even if that particular business or the trader is, or the trade body is probably bigger or smaller, larger, it doesn't matter. But that idea, that notion that, I can learn something and I can share my experiences. A lot of us have a lot of experiences. So ye jo hai, this kind of forums help you share your experiences and helps you not repeat mistakes. So like I said, this collaborative mindset that our members have in Mumbai, it's truly awesome to see, because, we are a very small geographic community, but there are so many people sharing resources in terms of the kind of ideas that we have, the kind of clients that we are catering to, whether it is the hospitality sector, the healthcare sector, residential, retail, you name it. I'm not saying it has been absolutely harmonious. I'm sure that there has been issues, but then obviously in any active trade there will be a lot of grievances. Coming to issues, our association has by and large been very successful under the mentorship of so many stalwarts who are there to handhold us. कि आप डरो मत, आप करो, आप बताइए. Please come out and share your experiences. This is one of those experiences that made me decide that, just being a member and not doing things, it's time to give back. Ye sab jo thoughts hai, this kind of collaborative thoughts has probably made someone else's life a lot easier in this association. And when they come and thank you, you really feel that, yeah, it's good. We were waiting for this. We are waiting for this fraternity. कि, यहाँ पे हमारा, हमारे जो इंडस्ट्री के लोग जो सफ़र कर रहे हैं, जो चैलेंजेस फेस कर रहे हैं, ओके, देयर इज समबडी हु इज हियरिंग इट, एंड जस्ट गिविंग अ लिसनिंग ईयर आल्सो मेक्स सच अ बिग डिफरेंस. आई एम नॉट सेइंग वी वांट टू स्टॉप आवरसेल्फ टू जस्ट लिसनिंग टू देयर प्रॉब्लम्स, because we have a whole slew of problems which are, which have its own priority. We cannot just, like many times sorry, many times I have a lot of individual members who come up to me and say that, we are facing this particular issue, and why is RATA not able to address it or take it on board? And it's when you share with them our experiences, when they see that, oh, there is a lot more going on, there's a lot more unfair things that need to be addressed first, that's when they realize that, okay, yeah,
Yeah, so Rudolph,
yeah,
just to sum up, I guess, what you're mentioning. See, at the end of the day, RATA, the vision was to engage and encourage the development of the industry,
yeah,
in the country.
correct.
So how do you do that? With the requisite knowledge and the skill set that you can give to the people around us. And that's the reason for an association to be part of an industry, or an association which has 2,000 plus members today, we're saying that we do about 20,000 crores of business together. And we're saying that we employ 70,000 people. The government, India Cooling Plan, is saying that this industry is set to grow 8 times in the next 20 years. Where is the shortage?
Yeah.
So your base, your foundation, and your future is so bright. All we are saying is, here's an association which is trying to bring together our own members to take advantage of this. And what questions are you asking? So what is our requirement? We are saying, listen, become a member. Strength is required to showcase. Second, become an MSME. There are a lot of advantages of MSME today. The government thinks of MSMEs as the real growth engines for the country. So if you take up these two things, then leave it to RATA to bring the experts to you, to teach you what you want to learn, possibly to help you network and get the right products or ideas or services from within the industry. Most importantly, it's about changing your mindset.
Correct.
You see a lot of people today who, are, and there's stories. I mean, when you're talking about grievance cells, etc., what is RATA doing over there? The idea is that you're trying to, help solve disputes. You're trying to help remove somebody from a sorry situation he has got into. But does the other person even appreciate what you're doing at the end of the day. So here's somebody who owes money to someone for some reason. He's not been able to pay. You're trying to bring them onto the table and say, listen, we can help you both out. Why don't you do this? Probably the payment is being made also, but there may not be appreciation. They may say, no, we did it because we had to do it. It wasn't because you're part of RATA. So the thing is that we are not trying to form two opinions over here whether RATA is good or RATA is bad. The point is, there's so much on the basket, there's so much in the plate for everyone to take. It's about changing your mindset and understanding that this is the future, this is the path, and this is the place. Why does somebody become active in RATA? According to me, there are 2 or 3 reasons only. One is somebody is coming to learn.
Correct.
Second, someone's coming to network. And third, a few people are also coming to give back to society.
Correct.
So when all these 3 actually come together, it's a symbiosis. You're going to get from each other and you give to each other. It has to be a growth journey at the end of the day. So that's what I thought, summing up what RATA is doing and what is there for members to actually be part of it is something
I
that
think
I could
RATA sums it very well. I think RATA's vision has been pretty clear. They've listed it out on the website, and every time there's a forum, RATA does mention its vision. It's something simple as uniting the members together, now helping the members grow through liaising with the government and other association. Now, the third point would be helping probably members with their grievances, like you mentioned, and also to call out unfair trade practices which are being practiced, to inform others that this is happening. Please be careful. Last but not the least, the fourth, and I think this is one of the most important, and probably this is one of the reasons I'm part of RATA, is RATA is a assimilative knowledge bank. This is where a lot of these people come together and share knowledge and experiences so that, you can be self-sufficient. You can also be sustainable. A lot of people discuss our industry, look down on our industry because we are probably not so energy efficient in terms of our products, our solutions. But let's have a knowledge bank. There was this particular instance where you see, because I'm from the air conditioning trade, I probably see a misuse of how these equipment are being used. The manufacturers design the product in the right way. There is so much around installation of this product, and it's simple misuse of how this product is used, or not knowing on what good this product can do if you use it the right way. Absolute wastage. So here our association can help design this particular products and services, these solutions, to make it sustainable. Because here, come on, we have one planet. We have to look at sustainability in the future. There is so much coming up in terms of net zero. There's so much that's coming up in terms of decarbonization. And if I'm setting out as an SSD or as a contractor, as a probably somewhere as a component in this industry, and I'm not acquainting myself, I'm not understanding what is happening, and I'm dependent on hearsay information. While here the association is giving a ready reckoner, कि आपको ये करना है, आपको वो करना है. When my way is cut out so easy, why should I take the long route of understanding any other way? Here we have representation. Here we have direct communication from the government to us, a direct understanding on what sustainability could be, or probably efficiency could be, probably taxation could be, if I have to be honest. Because like everybody knows, our product is not just a product that a solution that you just put in place. It is something that is also driving the nation in terms of energy costs, in terms of what has to be planned. A lot of this is into planning. The steps that we are doing today was planned 5 years back. So this knowledge bank which RATA gives us as a vision is something that a lot of entrepreneurs, like you mentioned, you come to learn, you come to probably network and probably show your product and services. If you have something which is so niche, this is the right forum.
Yes, see, Rudolph, I believe that, when somebody is in this industry and he wants to adapt to change, he wants to look at what are the new trends, possibly, it's not easy for one person to learn everything and implement it.
Correct.
Which means that either you can become number one from your competition, or you can cooperate and collaborate, and 5 of you can become a strong number one in your industry.
It's true.
It's all about what choice and mindset you want to have.
We've had that success stories. We have had collaborative businesses doing this and taking the right steps and being absolutely successful. You're absolutely hit the nail on the head. See, apart from RATA's vision, Akash, you've been here for so long. You have seen this exchange of leadership. Akash, what do you feel? What do you think? Where do you see, RATA in terms of what it can do? And as in you've been doing a lot for RATA, but what it can do for its members in the long run, say after 10 years or 15 years. Also, before we go to the part of traders, which you represent, Akash is the national chair for traders. And I'm sure there's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of diverse things that you've seen amongst traders. They have all types of grievances and a whole slew of changes that have come over the years. So yeah, there's a pretty interesting insight that you can share among traders. But before that, where do you see RATA and its members in the next 5-10 years?
RATA is 75 years old. Okay. Probably what RATA was doing in the first 10 years of its existence, none of us know.
Correct.
And here we are thinking that are we doing the right things? Are we on the right journey? Yeah. Of course, different era, a different decade, different ask, different actions. But my belief is, from what I understand, what RATA was doing in the first 10 years with the government is what RATA will be strongly doing in the future with the government. And that is, it will be a very integral part of the policy making at the government levels. Whatever has to happen for our industry and how it's going to affect our members commercially and their future and their growth and their investments and things that actually take care of our members is what RATA will push at the government level. So this is one side where I think, we will be working with the government, and it's absolutely important for any country because probably a lot of, direction to an industry happens with what the government thinks is right for the country. Another example, it's not just working with the government, but it's also working, as you mentioned, with other associations that are there around you. Yeah. They're trade associations, they're strong associations. So there's someone like FAM. Okay. It's the Federation of Associations of Maharashtra. So being part of it, what are we doing? We are reaching out to the government faster. We are reaching out with, our need and our ask and our representations on a wider scale and at a quicker...
Along with other MSMEs as well.
Along with other MSMEs. So that shows that there is a equal need for this across the country. It's not just from one side.
Not just from our industry.
What are we doing with IMC, the Indian Merchants Chambers? Correct. So there was a time when India was very clearly talking about products that it did not want to become import dependent, whether it was on forex reasons or whether it was on reasons to support our own MSMEs over here in India for Make in India. Yeah. So how do you bring in Make in India and what do you start with? So that's where we engaged with the Indian Merchants Chambers to ensure that we could find out what are those products of our industry that are being imported maximum in terms of value and quantity and number of times from adjoining, neighboring countries, and what is it that we can actually suggest to the government to bring into the PLI and to bring into, the support for those kind of products to identify them in the beginning. So this is stuff that, you would never be part of unless you are within, a collaborative movement, whether it is to do with each other in the industry or with associations outside the industry. We went for programs of CII. What did we learn from them? We learned that they're the biggie, presidents and the Kirloskars, and you have the big companies all part of the industry and the forum over there. And what are they talking about? They're talking about their general discussions with the government. Yeah. So they're already there. They're having those conversations. So you learn that these things are also possible. Yeah. You have to feel that things are possible, then you will dream and you will actually act and work towards it. So this is what I specifically think is the strength of RATA and where it will very, very strongly be in the future.
Policy making is probably where you're right. Absolutely, you've been there. If you're part of this entire process of policy making, our industry, people feel is not disruptive. Our industry, people feel that has always been the same. Air conditioning, the refrigeration cycle has always been the same for the past 50 years. But with so many concepts, with district cooling, with efficiency programs, with net zero. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult task for me sitting here to say or think what would happen in the next 5 to 10 years. There would be steep policy changes, and the market is going to be so disrupted. If you're not part of the decision making process, if you're not part of the movement, you'll be left behind. It comes as a warning to a lot of people. It may sound like a warning, but that's the truth. Because the way we are operating right now, it doesn't seem to be sustainable. There is so many things that need to be changed, whether it is by wish or by force. So absolutely right. RATA is going to be so instrumental in being part of that policy. Now, coming back to what Akash first profession, I'm not discussing his chartered accountancy. I'm discussing his role in his own company, Ishwar Trading is. Before he's been the national chair for traders, he himself is a trader. He himself has done it, And in the last so many years, he has been part of this forum, and now he's leading it at the helm. He has been privy to a lot of these traders' problems and successes, and how RATA has been there instrumental in making sure that traders have a voice. Trading community जो है हमारा मुंबई में तो सबसे I don't know, it is going to be very univocal for me to say that the trading community here is the biggest. I'm not sure. I'm just winging it when I say that. But there are people from tier 2 cities as well, tier 3 cities as well, who are engaged in these activities. And when they become a part of RATA, they learn the tricks of the biggies. Okay, I'm not saying in terms of unfair practices. I'm being very clear that these are practices which you should, like inventory management. Let me discuss taxation. Let me discuss having some analysis on तुझे क्या माल चाहिए, तूने अभी स्टॉक रखा है, तेरा वहाँ का डिमांड क्या है, क्या रखना चाहिए, क्या प्रमोट करना चाहिए. Influencing those changes. So Akash, I think a lot of traders are watching us right now. Any insights, any tips, any tricks that you can help them push over, let them, they have, अरे यार ये बार हमारा 1.5 crore ही हुआ है, या हमारा 15 crore. There is no upper ceiling to this. Some tips and tricks, some things that you have learned from this forum, some experiences that you have shared, Akash, it would be great value for all the listeners, Akash.
So yeah, obviously traders हमारे इतने हैं country में, मुंबई में तो जोक है या फैक्ट है कि हर रेलवे स्टेशन सेंट्रल या वेस्टर्न के ईस्ट और वेस्ट साइड में आपके पास ट्रेडर्स होंगे.
We say this in a very colloquial way ना, कि यहाँ से आप लोग पत्थर फेंको, एक एसी वाले पे गिरेगा पक्का, या तो ट्रेडर, या तो मैकेनिक, या तो दुकान, या तो रिटेलर.
Absolutely. But of course the part of RATA is that हमें वो पत्थर से बचाना है हमारे members को rather than let it reach them. But frankly, with the number of traders that are there, I don't blame them कि competition होना ही है. Okay. But I still think थोड़े अलग तरीके से देख सकते हैं हम इसको. इसलिए अलग अलग traders अलग अलग level पे पहुंच सके हैं. कोई import कर रहा है, कोई लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स बेच रहा है, कोई सेल्स एंड सर्विस डीलर्स को टारगेट कर रहा है, कोई एंड कस्टमर्स को कर रहा है, कोई OEMs के साथ काम कर रहा है, कोई सिर्फ ट्रेडिंग का काम कर रहा है. सो बेसिकली देयर इज सो मच फॉर एवरीवन टू डू. माय थॉट इज दैट वन शुड फोकस ऑन वेयर हिज स्ट्रेंथ्स लाई. इफ यू स्प्रेड योरसेल्फ टू फार एंड टू थिन, it's going to be difficult. I'll tell you why. A lot of times जो प्राइस हम सेट करते हैं ना, वो हमारी मर्जी से नहीं करते हैं, बाजू वाले दुकान के मर्जी से करते हैं. Which means हमें डिसाइड करना है कि हम बाजू वाले से compete करें या हम अगले सिटी वाले से compete करें, ताकि मैं इस सिटी में अकेला राजा. So that is our thought, that how we want to spread and focus on what things, specifically because आज margins are important to sustain any business that you are doing.
Yeah.
If you want to grow in and as a trader, you have no option but to invest money year on year. You will not be able to plow back the profits that you make in a year. It is not enough for you to grow sustainably if you want to grow at your 15 and 20% year on year consistently. Now, either you have to have the means, the collateral to bring that money from outside, or you work on certain margins, which are, I'm not saying exorbitant, but यार अपना cost तो समझो.
Correct.
Cost ये नहीं है कि जिस रेट पे माल आया वो मेरा cost हो गया. Cost of running the business तो ऐड करो, तब आपका cost बनता है. एंड हर आदमी पैसा बनाना चाहता है, तो ये तो हमारी गलती है अगर हम बोलते हैं कि यार बाजू वाला कम में बेच रहा है, वो नहीं कमाना चाहता. अरे टाइम पास करने नहीं बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, सबको अपने घर लेके जाना है, सबकी बीवियाँ हैं, सबको ज्वेलरी खरीदनी है, साड़ियाँ खरीदनी है. सो आई थिंक इट इज़ टाइम टू रियलाइज दैट एज ट्रेडर्स वी हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट ईच अदर एंड वी हैव टू, इफ रिक्वायर्ड, collaborate rather than just compete with each other. This is what I saw when I came in Ishwar.
Yeah.
When I was looking around, I said, यार यहाँ पे तो कोई आदमी दूसरे से बात ही नहीं करता.
Correct.
और मैं एक बंदा ऐसे हूँ जो बाहर से आया हूँ, मैं अपना खुद का एक नाम बनाना चाह रहा हूँ. पहले तो इंडस्ट्री में बनाना चाह रहा हूँ, फिर ईश्वर में बनाना चाह रहा हूँ. Everybody, you know, especially as you said, when you have big shoes to fill into, and so was the case with me. I had to fill into my father's shoes. It's not easy. You have to do at least 1.1 times what he's doing.
Correct.
So you have to wait. Technologies हैं, अलग अलग चीज़ें होती हैं हमारी इंडस्ट्री में, वो चीज़ें हमें सीखनी चाहिए और वो हमारे कस्टमर्स को जाके हमें सिखानी चाहिए. That is the value that we will add to our customer. That is the reason our tagline is creating solutions, building relations.
Correct.
The idea is solutions बनाओ आप अपने customer के लिए.
Correct.
And there are so many such cases that have happened in the last 20 years. One is you had different technology of compressors that came in.
Correct.
You had different refrigerants that came in. So high pressures, low pressures. And now you are having, you know, decarbonization and energy efficiency. So if all these things are things that you can go and take to your customer as a solution, he will pay you for it.
ये सब traders लोग जो हमें देख रहे हैं, I think it's very important. ये बहुत important है आपको समझना कि don't price your product wafer thin, you know, and you think that volume जाएगा तब जाके मैं कमा लूँगा. It is very important for, you know, to price your product, price your cost to the product and sell at that margin. Not because my next door neighbor is, मतलब मेरे बाजू वाला क्या बेच रहा है. Yeah, that does govern a bit. But in terms of quality and practices, there is a certain amount of compromise that you should not be able to do. I think it's very critical that in our industry, this chase of profits, this profiteering chase, right from copper tubes, right from gases, right from components, right from electrical components, this is hit a race where there's a adulteration level which is very sad to say. Honestly, in our market, the amount of spurious gases, the amount of adulteration of copper products, the amount of electrical components that are, you know, got from very cheap sources, just because I can sell it at a profit and I'm ready to compromise with the particular product or the life of the person handling the product, has to come to a halt. I think somewhere we need to draw a line कि ये नहीं चलेगा. And as a trader, आप समझो कि there is a other way to do it. There's a right way to do it. It's probably a longer way. It could be. And honestly, we have done our research. I think in RATA, the Traders Forum has done their research. If you are chasing those kind of profits, those petty profits, you end up losing a lot more. Reputation being the center of it. It's very important that ठीक है, business, sustainability, profit, ये सब side में रखो. The first thing that comes of importance is human lives and the quality of human lives. Scars can heal. Those experiences can come out. But why? Why do we encourage this kind of behavior? This is happening because of profiteering. I feel that this knowledge which RATA gives, that, you know, ये क्या है, ये क्या value add करता है अपनी जिंदगी में as traders, is so much. You'll only probably come to know when you are part of these discussions. And though I'm not a trader, I've been part of this forums and discussion. Boy, they get heated. You know, there are so many people trying to voice in. But I think it's important to call out unfair practices when it is especially especially when it is a compromise to quality. There's a certain sense of giving back. There's a certain sense of responsibility that we learn from RATA.
Rudolph, I appreciate your understanding of the Traders Forum. I think you summed it up extremely well. Do you want to bring your next generation
Yeah.
to this kind of a platform?
That's
Do
the
you
right
wanna
question.
tell-
That's absolutely the right question to ask yourself.
Do you want to tell them that here's a life risking, profiteering, chor bazari
Absolutely.
kind of a market? Or do you want to give them an opportunity to add value, to bring their 2 bits, to bring technology, to actually change the face of this industry? And the real time will be not that I have my son joining me because his father is in this industry, but because he finds it valuable enough for him to come and spend his life in this industry.
I think we're all happy. We are all content with the kind of things that you've been sharing, Akash. There is so much. There's so much we are happy to give to our members in RATA. We are very happy that we see so many insights from people, and we are able to share it together in one forum. Akash is the president of RATA Mumbai. He has been at the helm of things, and Mumbai is a place we get to experience the complete A to Z of everything. And it's an honor, it's a pleasure that we could hear so much from you, Akash. There's a long way ahead. It has never been easy, and I'm sure it is going to be difficult. But I think the highlights, after we do it, after we accomplish our goals, after the committee is able to voice out, reach out to its members, it's going to be something amazing.
I'm happy to share the dais with another next gen motivated youngster over here. And Rudolph, I really wish you the best at RATA, in the committee, and in this industry going forward.
Thank you so much, Akash. Thank you so much. Friends, if you liked what we are doing here in our podcast series, please do comment. Please do leave a note that you've been here and there's something particular that you want us to address. Please do mention. We are here. This RATA Forum is of the traders, by the traders, and only for the traders. All the best. I'll see you soon.